Hello everybody and welcome into another video from Old 83. Today we're going to look at some rocket stoves. Let's check it out. Alright, and welcome in. Today, like I said, we are going to look at some rocket stoves, and you'll notice this one here on the left. This is from my bug out bag. You can go ahead and take a look at that video up here, but I made these out of tin cans, and I'll talk briefly about how I made them, and then we're going to go into how they perform and what they can be of use for in something like a bug out bag. And before I get much into this video, I want to thank LukePro_, one of my subscribers who requested this video. So here you go, Luke, this one's for you. Let's dig into this. All right, and let's look at these two rocket stoves. This is the one for my bug out bag, and this one's a lot rougher. That's why I have these covers on it. This is from a vitamin can, and just put that on there, cut it off to keep this from ripping up my bag. And then same thing here, this is just from an old coffee can, but you can see how sharp this one is and how jagged. I made this one with a pair of tin snips. The other one is much, I wouldn't say much, but it's a lot nicer. You can see the cuts are a lot smoother. There's not as much sharp stuff in there. It was the second generation, if you will. The top is still sharp, but I was able to grind it so it doesn't cut as much, but it still probably is going to need that coffee can. So that's what they have here. You'll notice the venting up top on this one is much higher. That was the big difference between these two. I tested the one on the left out, and it took about 12 minutes, almost 13 minutes to boil water, which is really long. So this one, pretty much old, just gonna keep it around. I might make a new, like a stand for it so I can sit it up above a little bit more, but for right now, this one's going that way. This one right here we're gonna use, and this one I have tested. It should boil in about 8 minutes, but I'm gonna get that on video here. So let's get into this. Okay, and before we get into the actual boil, let's talk about building materials. You'll want a smaller can here. This one is about 2.5 inches in diameter and somewhere around 4.5 inches long. This is going to form the fuel and air vent area. So the air is going to go in through here, okay, and the fuel is going to get shoved in here, and then all of it is going to rocket that heat straight up, and this is where we're going to sit our water. It's going to boil from there. Now you want to make sure with these bigger cans, for example, these are 4 inches wide and about 4.5 inches tall. So it's one can with another slightly smaller diameter can inside, so you have a thick wall. This thick wall is stuffed with insulation. I used roofing insulation because it's non-flammable, but really it doesn't matter as long as it's not going to catch on fire. You could probably use the spray foam. I think that stuff's not flammable. Don't quote me on that. But the big thing is save your lid, because your lid is going to sit down of the bigger can. It's going to sit on the top, and then you just bend them in on the sides and keep a couple up here, and that's how you do it briefly. Hopefully that makes sense. And now let's get into the boil. I'm going to use this pile of sticks. This is just sitting, it's yard waste basically, and I'm going to show you how we can boil this cup of water right here. Just a tin camping cup, and this is another reason why you want one of these in your bug out bag, is so you can actually boil water. But tin camping cup full, and we'll see how long it takes it to boil. All right, and just as I was lighting this up, my neighbor decided to mow their lawn, so we are back about 20 minutes later, and it really was a blessing in disguise, because I discovered the fuel I was originally using, that big handful I showed you, that was actually green. So it was not lighting properly, so I found some better fuel. We'll use this handful, and I bet you I will not even touch this whole handful, okay? So we are going to use these sticks that I know are dry. So let it be a lesson for you guys. I did want to include it in this video instead of making it look like I have everything together. Listen, I make mistakes too, so make sure you have dry wood when you start this. So let me get this lid up, and we'll go from there. Alrighty, well, we got it lit, and here I have my handy dandy stopwatch. Get that started here, and we'll go ahead and put our water up on top. Let's see how long this thing takes to boil. I will keep feeding in there with the sticks. All you got to do is just shove them in slowly, make sure they're fed, make sure you still have flames, and we will see how long it goes. 19 seconds in. Okay, here we go. We are at 8 minutes and 15 seconds or so, and I'd say we have a rolling boil. And as I was about to show you in that previous one, I ran out of space on my phone. So I use an iPhone to do all this. And fortunately, it looks like I only lost about 30-40 seconds. But as you can see at the 8:17 mark, it was at a rolling boil. And now you can see we are at 9 minutes, 20 seconds. And man, look at that. Full rolling boil. It is perfectly safe to use for cooking, drinking, whatever. Obviously let it cool down, but let me give you a look here. And you can see our fuel on top, the vent space underneath. And if you remember that pile of sticks, I used maybe half of it, if that, and we are going strong. So there you go, full rolling boil with the rocket stove. Well, there we go. We have a full rolling boil. As I said, we're at the 10-minute, 13-second mark. We boiled in about 8 minutes, 10 seconds, which is very impressive for such a tiny little rocket stove on a handful of twigs. And that's really why I like keeping this as part of my backpack or my bug out bag, is you can really use just about minimal fuel to get a full cup boiling water, and you can use it to cook with, to drink, whatever you need to do, and that'll help you survive in a bad situation. I enjoy taking it camping, and it's very lightweight, so there you go. Well, hey guys, do me a favor, keep commenting, keep subscribing. I do look at all those comments, and as I said, LukePro_, this video was based off of your suggestion. I appreciate that. So go ahead and leave more comments below. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.